and where down we go. Oh, baby.
Acqua di Gio, Eau de Toilette, and the new Eau de Parfum, Giorgio Armani. At Macy's, the fragrance destination.
Internet without trackers. Without malware-ridden files. Zen. Be more cyber zen. Get NordVPN.
Tomorrow on ET, our exclusive Dallas reunion with the entire Ewing family. Memories of Larry Hagman and stories you've never heard.
Happening now.
The impact literally knocked the life out of him.
The parents of a victim of drunk driving speak about their son and question why the man accused was even behind the wheel.
An updated look at what's contributing to our haze in the sky today, along with ridiculously high humidity and how hot that makes it feels, along with your forecast in just a bit.
And summertime usually means it's time to take a trip. So when you check into that hotel room, how clean is it really? What we found and the one thing most likely to have germs. The news at 5 starts right now. First at 5, we've seen a wave of shootings and gun violence over the past few weeks, causing concern for people living in those neighborhoods and for the leaders that serve those areas.
Bexar County taking steps to hopefully curb the violence with the free Gun Safe and Gun Lock giveaway. It's taking place right now on the southeast side. Our RJ Marquez joins us live from Padre Park. RJ, an hour into the event, I see a little bit of a line behind you. Are people showing up?
Yeah, Stephen, Myra, people are actually, yes, definitely showing up here. So we've seen a good amount of cars for this giveaway. Again, you guys mentioned started about an hour ago, and this is what the gun locks look like. You can see right here, they have the key with them. So this is a gun lock. Want to show you real quick what the safe looks like as well. Again, it's a portable security case. So that's what's being handed out here at Padre Park right now. So Commissioner's Court actually approved handing out 3,800 of these handgun safes and about 1,000 handgun cable locks throughout the rest of the summer. So this giveaway is taking place here in a way to provide extra security for gun owners and their families. This also promotes responsible gun ownership and increases awareness of gun safety. One handgun safe and one gun lock is being handed out to people who registered. So the first person that we saw in line here was a man named Ken Benitez. He lives on the southeast side and said that this is very important for the safety of not only his family, but his neighbors as well.
But this is just another ounce of prevention. If I could find a way, secure it and leave it out of reach, it's just something to add, it's better to prevent now than regret later. I have a pistol just laying around. It's easy to get in the heat of the moment, in anger, just go and grab a pistol or something. If you have to go find a key to unlock, to go, then, by the time you get it, hopefully it's blown over.
All right, and so people had to register in advance in order to get these safety items, and we were just told right now by Bexar County officials that all the registration has been closed for now, but they want you, if you're interested, to continue to check availability on the website for these items here. So again, we're out here at Padre Park right now. Commissioner Rebecca Clay Flores has been handing out these items personally to a lot of these drivers, and again, this one way to promote gun violence safety across Bexar County. Now coming up at 6 o'clock, of course, this is a county citywide issue that we're all seeing here, this rise in gun violence. So I spoke to 3 city council members about what they feel may be the root of the issue and some ways that they are addressing this spike in gun violence. Reporting from the southeast side, RJ Marquez, KSAT 12 News.
All right, thanks, RJ. Do you recognize this person? Now, the picture here is blurry, but San Antonio police need your help finding this man. He's wanted in connection with the murder of 19-year-old Eric Ivan Rios Navarro. He died June 3rd after he was shot the night before on Roland Avenue near Southside Lions Park. It's where San Antonio police say during a soccer game, someone pulled out a gun. According to SAPD, Navarro and the shooter were arguing before the suspect pulled the trigger. Navarro died the next day at a hospital. Now let's take a look again at the picture of this person police are looking for. If you recognize him or have any details, call the SAPD's homicide unit. That's the number you see right here on your screen. It's 210-207-7635.
A 21-year-old mother in custody accused in her own baby's death. Samantha Baker charged with injury to a child causing serious bodily injury with intent. Investigators were first told by Baker the baby was found unresponsive in his bassinet. An autopsy revealed the baby died from blunt force trauma, and Baker later admitted she hit the baby 3 times on his head out of frustration. Baker, arrested yesterday, is currently in the Bexar County Jail. Her bond set at $200,000.
In a matter of minutes, their lives changed forever. A driver believed to be drunk killed their 22-year-old son. For the first time, we are hearing from the victim's parents. Darian Hendrick Escobedo had a love of fishing, and he was only 3 minutes away from his home, but he never made it there. Erica Hernandez talks with his mother and father about their loss.
It's surreal. You can't believe that this is happening.
Margot Escalera and Steven Escobedo are still grieving for their son, Darian, who was killed on May 30th as he was heading home from fishing.
He sent me a picture from the day of the fish that he caught, and I put the haha on his picture. I just told him that I would see him later, and that was the last time we talked to him.
Several hours later on Highway 90 West near State Highway 211, a wrong-way driver hit Darian head-on.
He died of cardiac arrest. The impact literally knocked the life out of him.
The man arrested and charged, Christopher James Davila, also had his own 2 children in the vehicle with him, the 3 suffering minor injuries.
This individual chose to do that, made the choice to continue drinking and then get behind the wheel of a car.
With only photos, videos, and memories of Darian left behind, Margot and Steven hope for justice for their son.
We want to make sure that this doesn't happen to somebody else's child.
We want a thorough investigation. We want the facts, and we want the courage to seek complete justice for my son's death.
Christopher James Davila remains in jail on multiple charges. Now, we will take a closer look at this case as Davila, a former SAPD officer, was arrested last year for evading arrest, but was never indicted. Coming up at 6, what the district attorney has to say about the case. Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
A lot of questions. Well, details continue to shed light on a case of body parts being exploited for cash. It all happened behind closed doors at Harvard University's medical school. FBI agents accusing the former morgue manager, this man, Cedric Lodge, of stealing and selling human body parts over a 4-year span. The bodies were donated to the university for science and research. Instead, Lodge is accused of stealing heads, brains, skin, and bones and selling them out of his New Hampshire home with the help of his wife. The couple believed to have profited in the thousands of dollars.
Who could do something like that? You know, what kind of person? No respect at all for the family. They need to pay.
Officials believe buyers were allowed inside the morgue, able to choose which parts they wanted to buy. Some of those buyers named in the federal indictment include Massachusetts store owner Katrina McLean. As for the university, they say they're working to find every family affected.
Student loan payments have been on pause since March of 2020, but that 3-year hiatus is set to end, and this time there's no room for more extensions. Karen Kafa has the timeline for repayments to resume and what borrowers need to know.
The Department of Education offering clarity for federal student loan borrowers. Student loan interest will resume on September 1st and payments will resume in October, definitively ending the pandemic pause that started in March 2020. For some, it will mean a major shift in budgeting.
A lot of them were using this for their everyday use to purchase medical expenses, to repay a car bill, get their car fixed, home improvements. Is a lot of things that have happened in this 3 years.
Jalen Herbin of the Center for Responsible Lending says borrowers should use the summer months to get their finances in order.
It is enough time for you to reach out to a servicer and ask the questions that you need to ask. How will this impact me? What are the changes that will take place from what previously took place? Or I am a new graduate. What do I need to know about my account? How can I make sure that I do not go into default?
The Department of Education says it will be in direct communication with borrowers before repayments are due. Borrowers are also waiting to see if the Biden administration's student loan forgiveness program can legally move forward. 2 lawsuits accusing the Biden White House of overreach reached the Supreme Court. Their ruling is imminent. The Biden administration estimates more than 40 million low and middle income federal student loan borrowers would qualify for some debt cancellation. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
Take a look at traffic right now. We're going to go to 37 at Salado Creek, and you can see traffic moving smoothly in both directions. And yes, even though we haven't had rain in a while, it is still very lush and green out there. Like to see it.
Ooh, you got me going because we're going to get to that coming up in a little bit.
All right.
How lush and green it is, satellite comparisons of last June compared to this June, and why I think that's making it so humid out there. 97 and abnormally humid. Dew point is 77, so it feels like 112 in San Antonio. Real deal heat indices we don't see all that often. Del Rio air temp 105. It's in Warren's backyard. 102 Lavernia, 98 for the air temperature in Mico. It's the heat index. We're going to get more into this, the unusually high humidity and why in just a bit.
Thank you, Adam. Ticketmaster, known for its sky-high prices, unbelievable sellouts. Like back in November when Taylor Swift concert tickets sold in some places for upwards of $10,000. Well, now parent company Live Nation is one of several corporations vowing to get rid of hidden fees. As ABC's M. Wynn reports, the agreement part of President Biden's plan to save Americans money with more pricing transparency.
President Joe Biden announcing several large companies, including Ticketmaster and its parent company, Live Nation, committing to post all-inclusive pricing up front rather than surprising consumers with additional fees at the end of checkout.
These hidden charges the companies sneak into your bill to make you pay more without you really knowing it.
The president hosting executives from other big corporations like SeatGeek, a mobile-focused ticketing platform, and Airbnb, a rental marketplace, to highlight the administration's latest pressure campaign to end so-called junk fees.
The companies represented here today are voluntarily committing to all-in upfront pricing.
The White House lauding Biden's efforts to lower costs for hardworking families. The ticketing issue reached a boiling point in November when fans faced exorbitantly high prices for Taylor Swift's Eras Tour tickets.
We spent $6,000. Experiences are forever. Like, we will never forget this.
Live Nation saying concert attendance was up 24% last year compared to pre-pandemic numbers from 2019, while the average U.S. concert ticket price came in at just over $100.
This is a win for consumers, in my view, and proof that our crackdown on junk fees has real momentum.
Live Nation plans to roll out the all-in pricing experience in September. The White House says more companies plan to heed the president's call so consumers can know exactly what they're paying for up front. M. Wynn, ABC News, Washington.
When's your next hotel stay? Even at the nicest hotels, germs can be hiding out in places you might not think of. Up next, Marilyn Moritz takes us on a hotel check with AAA to see how in-depth their checklist is and what you could look for on your next trip. Coming up tonight on the news at 6 o'clock, the Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office examines the dead for the living, but even that line of work is facing staffing shortages. How county commissioners are trying to alleviate some of that stress.
The new San Antonio City Council is now set. 2 new councilwomen will take the dais next week after winning their runoffs. Garrett Berger talks with Suk Kaur about her plans for District 1. That story and more tonight on the news at 6.
As you book your summer vacations, do you ever wonder just how clean your hotel room is?
I really want to think about it.
Yeah,
I guess I should, though. 12 on your side's Marilyn Moritz went behind the scenes with the AAA inspector to see what they check out before you check in.
Needs to have a deadbolt lock for security. That comes out a full inch.
We'll call him Inspector 66. After all, his hotel checks for AAA are anonymous. He's not only inspecting for security, like lights and peepholes.
All beds have to have a mattress protector, which is this right here.
Like a nosy guest.
It's not sticky.
He's seeing how well a room is cleaned.
No bugs, no dust, no cobwebs. We look at the shower curtain, no dark spots, no spots. No mildew.
Since the pandemic, hotels have made changes. So have inspectors. He uses this machine now to swab for surfaces people touch a lot and test for enzymes that can signal bacteria.
This is something that the guests are going to be touching often.
Who doesn't touch the thermostat?
Shake it. In 5 seconds, let's see what we get. Green for good, red for not so good. Superb.
And one thing he says most likely to carry germs is this, the TV remote control. But take a look, since COVID, things are changing. This one has a smooth surface, easier to clean.
His findings help him give a AAA rating. This Best Western earns a 3-diamond status. You can look up thousands of hotels nationwide on the AAA app. But he also told me 3 things you can check to feel good the room was cleaned. Look at the bathroom mirror for water spots. Look across the room to see if objects are straightened. And finally, use your nose.
I always pause at the door and take in a deep breath.
If it smells fresh, he says that's a good sign. Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
What a job.
Can I take that guy on the road with me?
An anonymous hotel room inspector.
I like that.
Yeah.
All right, so the haze wasn't quite as bad today. I mean, I could actually make out clouds in the sky. Adam.
Yeah, but still hazy, still some smoke in the air. We'll take a look at that and even into greater depth coming up at 6 o'clock. First, I have some very interesting and what I would call stunning satellite imagery for you. Take a look at this. This is last June. This is an aerial photo of South Texas. I had to label the cities because it's kind of hard to get your bearings here. But on the lower right-hand side of your screen, you see the Gulf of Mexico. This is last June. Look how brown it is. Now, look at this June with how green it is because of all the rain. This time last year, we were in the deep drought. I'm going to show you this one more time. Last time this year, we had the drought. This year, we've had up to 20 inches of rain in some parts of our area, especially southeast of San Antonio. Last June, and then this June. Of course, we have clouds off to the west in the satellite imagery. It takes one pass overhead during the day to give us this imagery, but it can detect, you can see just the green. And this is actually a comparison of both of the years. Look at last year in June, how brown it is because of the lack of foliage, the lack of rainfall, the lack of plants growing, and the lack of anything growing from the ground compared to what we have this year. And I think this is one reason why it is so abnormally humid outside, because not just the soil moisture, but the moisture in those plants evaporating into the air adds to our mugginess. Usually this time of day, our dew points are down in the low 60s. Right now, dew points are in the upper 70s. Dew point is 77. I mean, that high of a dew point this time of day is just about unheard of around here. Obviously, it's not, it doesn't never happen, right? This isn't the first time, but it's not often that we have dew points this high this time of day in June. What that's leading to is heat indices in the 1-teens. So it feels like 113 in Uvalde. It feels like 112 in San Antonio. Feels like 115 in New Braunfels. These are real deal heat index values. Usually I don't get too into the heat index because it's one of those things where the dew point falls off in the afternoon and usually maybe it feels a few degrees warmer than the air temperature. That's not the case right now. This is real deal, and I do expect it to persist for a few more days. Actual air temperature, 108 Cotulla, 97 here in town. So far, our high temperature is 99 degrees here in San Antonio. We have yet to officially hit 100. I'll update you coming up at 6 once we get the final climate info for the day. Here's that haze. And, Steve, I agree. You can kind of make out downtown today.
I mean, it's very slight.
It's very slight.
Yeah.
But we can kind of make it out basically because we know where to look on this camera. And there is some smoke. Most of the fires are down here in South Mexico. Coming up at 6, I'll show you some of the satellite imagery detecting those fires, proof positive. And then you put on the low-level winds steering that smoke up the coastline there, all the way into South and Central Texas. Still the real deal smoke. Canada, northern tier of the U.S., and even into the Great Lakes. As for us, we have some severe weather just to our north and stretching up into Oklahoma. There's likely to be a big outbreak here, especially in Oklahoma and parts of North Texas. We still have the Big Blue H dominating our weather and keeping us high and dry. Low clouds in the morning tomorrow, 79 at 7 a.m. By noon, 87 degrees, then a high temperature of 100, but feeling like it's around 112, even higher heat indices south and east of San Antonio at times. So feeling the triple digits, low 100s will be the rule here as we get into the weekend and early next week, but feeling hotter because of that humidity. Yeah. More in-depth look at that and analysis at 6.
A reminder to be careful out there if you're out in it. Thanks, Adam.
Absolutely. All right, this guy's got some business to take care of before he becomes a Spur.
Yeah, Victor Wembanyama playing in Game 3 of the French Pro A Finals. Today, his team trying to avoid a sweep. Wemby had a pretty good game. Are they still alive out there? Plus, SAFC played to another draw coming up. That's a wrap for Victor Wembanyama and the Metropolitans 92 because Monaco won Game 3 of the LNB Pro A Finals today 92-85 to sweep Victor and his team 3 games to none. Wemby scored 22 points on 6 for 11 shooting to go with 7 rebounds and 4 blocked shots. He went 9 for 9 from the free throw line. His career in the French LNB Pro League has come to an end. Up next, the NBA Draft. Now, a little over 1 month ago, the Spurs won the NBA Draft lottery, giving them the rights to the #1 pick in the draft, allowing them to choose Wemby. The French phenom says he's 7'3" barefoot. Coming to San Antonio to learn from Coach Pop would be awesome for his career. Here's Richard Jefferson moments after the Spurs won the lotto.
Honestly, couldn't think of a better organization that he could have gone to. When you think about what having Greg Popovich there, the stability that they've had, the success that they have had over the past 20 years, I think he's in good hands, and I think the entire San Antonio fan base is rolling over right now. I can't wait to get on social media and see how crazy it is.
Wemby fever here in the 210 is crazy. Check out this Wemby billboard off I-35 South and Seguin Road near Brooke Army Medical Center. It says, Mike Dimes welcomes Victor Wembanyama to San Antonio. You're officially a Texas boy. Now, Mike Dimes is a local rapper, and like many Spurs fans, is thrilled to think about Wemby joining the silver and black. San Antonio FC drew San Diego Loa SC 2-2 last night in Southern California. Now, second half, down 1-0, Samuel Adeniran converts a penalty kick for the equalizer in the 47th minute, his 4th goal on the season. Carter Manley put SAFC on top 2-1 in the 67th minute, but San Diego would get one back in the 73rd minute, forcing a draw.
Yeah, it was a battle of 2 very competitive teams, 2 top teams within the USL Championship. But I felt from start to finish we were the better team. Our pressing actions were fantastic. San Diego's a team that wants to move the ball side to side. We didn't allow that to happen. We created some big opportunities, scored a couple goals, outshot the opponent. Yes, we try to fight for the 3, but we'll take the point, learn, move on.
SAFC will next play Saturday, June 24th at Sacramento Republic FC. And win or lose, Coach Marcina always got the slick back hair.
Yeah, he does.
Good.
He's always got the look.
Yep.
Yeah. Can't tell from his hair whether he won or lost.
Thanks, Larry.
For some reason, I appreciate that about him.
Oh, yeah, you think he uses Aquanet too?
Maybe. I don't know.
We'll be right back. That's all our time. Thanks for watching the News at 5.
World News up next. We'll see you right back here at 6.